Terry McGinnis returns to his role as Batman Beyond in Batman Beyond Rebirth. What's up guys, Roman from R&S Entertainment here, and welcome to another installment of Comic History, the weekly video series where I give visual retellings and explain epic comic origins, storylines, and events. In this video, we're going to be talking about one of the newest DC Comics titles, Batman Beyond Rebirth, which is a return to form both for Terry McGinnis as Batman Beyond, and for the series and world built up in the animated series. As for a good while, the Batman Beyond comics had been dragged down by the supposed death of Terry and the full-scale world war with Brother Eye. In Batman Beyond Rebirth, all of the Brother Eye cyborg nonsense is moved on from in favor of classic Batman Beyond characters and storylines, and even old-school Batman characters and mythos being brought in. The tone and voice of Batman Beyond Rebirth is also exactly like the animated series was, which as a huge fan of that show and Terry McGinnis as a character, I and many other fans really appreciate. Our story begins with Terry back as Batman, fighting the Jokerz in a Neo-Gotham that has moved on from the Brother Eye War, flying into a crowded subway car where the Joker gang dregs are shaking down the passengers for cash, which Terry notices is different than their usual MO of causing random chaos in tribute to the Joker. While Terry beats down the Jokerz, he thinks back to his origin as Batman Beyond, and the first time he came in conflict with the gang, leading them away from his then-girlfriend Dana, and finding himself in a cycle chase through the city, with no real plan other than to hope that fate intervened. Eventually it did, with Terry sliding to a stop to avoid hitting an old man on a forgotten road, with the man turning out to be Bruce Wayne, the former and retired Batman, who joins with Terry to completely dismantle the Jokerz gang in seconds. With Bruce's health failing him, Terry helps him into Wayne Manor and gives him his medication, planning to leave when fate intervened once again. Seeing a bat trapped behind the glass of a clock, Terry stumbled into the Batcave, learning that the old man who had saved him was Batman. Terry's dad was then murdered by his employer Derek Powers, though the crime scene was made up to appear to be retribution by the Jokerz, and Terry returned to beg Bruce Wayne for his help. Bruce refuses to become Batman once again, citing his old age and stating that that part of his life was over, and Terry stole the Batman Beyond suit from the cave and flew as Batman to avenge his father's murder. Bruce coached him from the cave, though against his will at first, and over time would fully accept Terry as the new Batman and even started to look at him as a son. In present time, Terry has taken down the Jokerz attacking the subway and delivered them to Police Commissioner Barbara Gordon, who tells him more about the increased Joker activity in the city, to the point where they have essentially taken over the southwest section of the city and renamed it Joker's Town. As Gordon begins to tell Terry not to wait in telling his loved ones that he's alive after being gone, they hear insane laughter coming from the two Jokerz goons he took down, turning to see the two men dying and laughing, apparently from Joker venom, which the original Joker had often used to make sure that his men wouldn't talk once captured. Terry wonders if this could mean the original Joker was still alive, to which Gordon tells him no, that he had been confirmed dead for years. But when Terry still isn't satisfied, she tells him to be careful not to end up like Bruce, obsessed and lost in being Batman. We then see Terry's ex-girlfriend Dana, who is now a social worker, traveling into a terrible section of the city with a police escort to attempt to help the impoverished citizens. When she arrives at her first house, the cop with her gets bashed in the back of the head by Joker's thugs, who tell her that this is Joker's town, and that their new boss wouldn't tolerate people trying to turn the populace against them. They grab Dana and prepare to take her to the boss, and reveal that the old woman Dana had come to help had actually informed them that she was coming, which the Jokerz reward by showering her with loose cash. Terry reconnects with his little brother Matt, who after the previous Batman Beyond comics had learned that his brother was Batman, and is really enthusiastic about the whole thing. Matt had been taken in by Terry's close friend and confidant Max, who shows up and tells Terry that the footage had been circulating on the news of Dana getting kidnapped by the Jokerz, and Terry grabs his Batman suit and prepares to venture into Joker's Town. As Terry flies toward Joker's Town, he thinks about how he had been with Dana in high school, but over the years being Batman had taken up more and more of his life, until they finally just drifted apart. He confronts several homeless people in an alley, demanding to know where to find the Jokerz, but the men are less scared of Batman than they are of the Joker's thug in the area, who is roided out on venom via a Bane-like canister on his back, and buries Terry under a pile of rubble after hitting him with massive strength. Meanwhile, Dana is taken to the Joker's base in the No Laughing Matter Club, with their new boss turning out to be Batman Beyond villain Terminal, a schoolmate of Dana and Terry's who had become a villain and led a gang of Jokers in the Batman Beyond animated series. When Dana asked why he had her brought there, he said he didn't, and that the real man in charge had given that order, pointing behind a glass window to reveal who he says is the original Joker, declaring that he was going to raise him from the dead. Terminal gestures to the body, telling Dana that deep down everyone wants to be the Joker, anytime they wanted to kill their boss or neighbor or whoever, and that the greatest joke that could be played on Gotham would be to bring him back. Meanwhile, Matt leads a blindfolded Max down into the Batcave, having promised to keep its location secret, but wanting to use the equipment to track down Dana and monitor Terry. Matt takes off Max's blindfold and reveals the Batcave, taking her to the main computer and finding that the signal to Terry's suit is weak and that something must be wrong. Back in Joker's town, Batman blasts himself out from under the concrete rubble by dropping explosive charges down into a metal pipe underneath him, surprising even himself that it worked and wondering if he's good or lucky. Now able to see Terry's suit feed, Matt cheers his brother on as he squares off with the venom-infused Joker goon. Terry dodges a punch and hits the Joker right in the face, but the punch does nothing due to the venom. Terry sheepishly grins and cracks an awkward joke, getting smashed into a truck by the raging Joker and scolding himself for not taking his one shot to win the fight. As Terry gets punched in the gut and then brought into a super strength bear hug, Max reasons to Matt that Terry had been out of commission for so long that he still had residual effects, and Terry thinks to himself that he's out of practice, that you can't just roll out of bed and be Batman, it takes constant training and work. Seeing his one chance, Terry pulls out 2 batarangs and jams them into the venom canister on the Joker's back, cutting off his supply to the venom and dropping him to the ground. Terry finds himself surrounded by Joker's goons who were watching the fight, converging on him with knives and other weapons and chanting, "Kill the Bat!" Terry grabs a manhole cover and tries to fight them off, quickly getting overrun by sheer numbers and completely overwhelmed. Terry blasts them off of him with an electrical charge from his suit, but once again gets pinned down by the hundreds if not thousands of Jokers that have piled into the area. Seeing no way to win, Batman takes the only other option and launches into the air in full retreat, thinking to himself that he had to be better and smarter than this. Having once again lost visibility of Batman due to the damage the Jokers had done to the suit, Matt talks to Max, disappointed in how Terry had done, thinking that he was a better Batman than that. Terry shows up in the Batcave and says that he wasn't ready, that he had flown in treating it like he had it in the bag already, instead of treating it like Bruce had taught him and taking things seriously. Terry says that maybe this time Batman can't do the job, that Batman couldn't fight thousands on thousands of Jokers, reappearing holding his shredded batsuit in his hands and dressed like a Joker's goon himself, planning on taking a note from Bruce Wayne's book and infiltrating the criminal gang as one of their own, using stealth and tactics to win. And that is where we're going to wrap up part 1 of Batman Beyond Rebirth, a series that I waited a while to check out because of the disappointment in the previous Tim Drake Batman Beyond series, but that once I picked up, I really enjoyed. This series completely takes on the tone and the character's voice from the original Batman Beyond animated series, and Terry being back in the suit just feels right. I love how the old Beyond rogues are all coming back, the return of original Batman characters adds another level of awesome, and the inclusion of Terry's brother Matt as a member of the team and possible Robin Beyond in the future is something that I've talked about wanting to happen forever. I definitely recommend Batman Beyond Rebirth to anyone who is a fan of the show. It's a really fun read and one of the better books coming out of DC Rebirth at the moment. If you want to see more Batman Beyond Rebirth episodes in the future, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about Batman Beyond as a concept and the original cartoon series. Also, make sure to check out my Origin of Ink episode of Comic History, where I cover the comic origins of one of Batman Beyond's most dangerous villains. And also check out the Batman History and Comic History playlist for all of the stories I've covered so far. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for weekly comic videos, subscribe to my gaming channel RNS Gaming, and I will see you all next time.